We're going to move on to the NFL. It seems MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred is rubbing off on NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Goodell is putting forth his own recommendations for speeding up the pace of the game. Finally, something we can cheer on Goodell for.
Yeah.
Some of the ideas include a running clock in between extra points and kickoffs, like the pitch count, the pitcher's clock that we see in the minor leagues, which is working well, by the way. Eliminating commercials between the extra point kickoff and the first play of the drive, and reducing commercials in general, Goodell said, by 25%. He said this on NFL Network. I do want to spend a minute on this because it's like right away, Roger Goodell is on a press conference. Oh, he sucks. And then he comes out and he's like, wait, what?
He actually said something.
Roger Goodell said,
right?
Like, we don't hate him for 5 minutes until he says something stupid again or hands out a fine for something stupid again.
And I gotta say,
I commend him on this. And you know what? You're losing fans because of all these things.
Right. And I gotta say, I'm not sure everybody in the league is, but I am a fan of Manfred. Like to see Goodell taking some good steps here with the NFL, because he gets a lot of flack, and rightfully so. I'm sure 4 or 5 years ago,
I still don't like Roger Goodell.
You and I think 4 or 5 years ago, were preaching to have the man basically impeached from his position.
I think the man makes around $30 to $45 million a year, and the product's not getting better.
Yeah.
What job do you have where your product gets worse?
I was going to say, arguably it has gotten worse, I'd say. I don't think the ratings, exciting.
The ratings in the last 3 years have increasingly gone down.
Right.
And there's something to say about that. Too many commercials. Roger Goodell said it's giving people an excuse to get off the couch. Because, the commercial between the extra point kickoff and first play of the drive, to me, that is like the epitome of why people don't sit through an entire NFL game.
Yeah, these games are 3 hours, and a baseball game is also 3 hours, and that's one of the biggest knocks on it. But 3 hours to devote on a Sunday is a lot of time to one game, especially in an ever-moving world that we are in now.
The world's inducing ADD.
Right. It's not quite the same place like back in the 90s where you could literally sit there all the time and watch, because you don't have your cell phone and 15 different things going on. But now they need, you need a way to captivate a younger audience, quicker moving audience, and they do have to figure it out, because NBA is, those games take about 2 hours. I believe hockey's somewhere around there too, and the NBA viewership right now is through the roof.
Because it's exciting,
that way. Right?
And it doesn't stop, and the commercials to me are minimal, especially when you watch. Moving on, do you have anything else?
No, that's about. I think the commercial breaks are the worst.
I think reducing commercials in general by 25%, that is a big deal. Now, does that mean an increase in ticket prices? Does that mean increase in cable packages? I'd be willing, if I had, once I get a full-time job and I have the money, I'd be willing to purchase an NFL Red Zone package if it means I'm going to actually be watching football.
Right, absolutely.
So, moving on, there's a little bit of controversy behind this, but the Oakland Raiders are getting closer to moving to Las Vegas. Oakland would pay about $350 million for a relocation fee, whereas San Diego and St. Louis had to pay $650 million each. The city of Oakland made a last-ditch effort to keep the Raiders in Oakland. The city and its partners submitted a last-resort proposal for a $1.3 billion stadium to be built right where the Coliseum is now. But the owners' meeting this past, I think it was today or yesterday.
Yeah, it was just
today. It was today. The owners went in a different direction as the Raiders sealed their relocation vote 31-1. I wonder who was the one.
Yeah, I wonder.
Like who benefits in the NFL from the Oakland Raiders? Maybe San Francisco? Maybe that rivalry
the rough and tough
keeps
rivalry.
And so the city and its partner. What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I can't believe how strongly the voting has gone for a Las Vegas team.
Yeah, me too. I think now that the Vegas Golden Knights are there, I think that adds. Once you have one team, it almost makes sense to put two.
Right. Well, and then of course you have
And the different seasons as well.
Right. No NBA team moving there as of yet that I know of.
No, but
I know the Warriors are moving over to San Fran.
And I don't think you'll see more than 2 in Vegas because of how busy it is and how much competition. So I don't think you'll see sports running in the same season twice. I mean, 2 sports running in the same season. But during the event, Brandon Marshall was invited to speak on a variety of topics, including protecting young players from the Las Vegas culture and strengthening the relationship between owners and players by letting players express themselves through things like My Cause, My Cleat, which it's one of the most stifled leagues. Actually, I would have to say it's the most stifled league. Because you see guys in overseas soccer, European football, and American soccer, they wear whatever cleat they want. Michael Jordan broke that barrier with his Air Jordans with the red and black cleats. Right. So that is, I don't think there's a player in the NBA that has the same cleat.
Right. Yeah, nobody wears.
And in the MLB, I guess I don't really take notice to it.
They do have. I mean, players can sign deals. I know in the MLB, like if somebody signed with Nike, they can wear Nike stuff, and somebody signed with Adidas, they can wear all Adidas stuff. They don't have to wear. You know, Nike sponsors MLB's uniforms, so they always have the Nike symbol right under the button. But I know that you know, if you are signed by Adidas, you don't have to wear that shirt. Yada yada. A lot of politics, a lot of money talk here. But yeah, I would. I mean, you get fines for wearing anything in
the NFL,
right?
Literally. And we here at YDST, going to the players now. We here at YDST. Oh wait, hold on. Moving up. Now on to the players. Thank you. Josh Gordon has applied for reinstatement into the league, and he has been working out with former Olympian turned speed coach Tim Montgomery. Gordon, who is 26 years old, has served suspension time in every season the past 4 years. He is still under contract with the Browns, but sources say they are either going to release him or trade him. And I'd like to see him get on track because he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. If he goes in, he's top 5.
Right.
I mean, he led the league into 1,600 yards receiving with 3 different quarterbacks. Jason Campbell. I think at that time I think Josh McCown was still there, and there was another guy.
I want to say even that might have been Brandon Whedon era with the Browns. But yeah, I remember I had him playing fantasy football. I had him and Alshon Jeffrey once at the same time, and it was both when they blew up on the scene. It was crazy. I can only imagine maybe the Browns would have had 2 or 3 wins this year if he would have been on the team with Pryor. Obviously not.
Yeah, but you have 2 guys on the outside.
Could have at least made the core that they had there with what's the other kid's name?
Corey Coleman. Yeah.
I mean, that's a legit 3 right there. So I would love to see him come back strong. Obviously, you got to stay off the pots, got to stay off the marijuana.
Yeah.
But
that seems pretty tough for him since.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Suspension time in the last 4 years. He served suspension time.
Yeah.
And this would be his 5th-year option, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he's faced, except that 1 year where he had that 1,600 yards.
Mr. Gordon needs the money to be his high for a little bit.
I guess.
Wait till you retire or something like that. I don't get it because it doesn't make sense.
No, not when you have a dream and when you're the best.
Right. Absolutely.
When you're the best. We here at YDST thought Adrian Peterson would have been signed immediately once free agency begun. But we now know why he's still a free agent. Peterson is asking for over $8 million in the first season of his contract, coming off of a season where he only played 3 games. And Peterson has said that he is not in a rush to sign with the team because it's not all about the money. The Green Bay Packers have expressed interest, but will likely meet with him after the draft. I would love to see the Packers sign him, but I know for a fact Ted Thompson is a cheap son of a gun. He is cheap as cheap can get. And he's not giving Adrian Peterson $8 million.
Right.
Unless they just surprise us out of nowhere and they give him maybe $6 million fully guaranteed, no incentives. So it's safe in its own right.
This could actually get more fun to see where he goes now because, maybe it obviously would have been a huge splash if he signed right off the bat. But now we can kind of build up a story and, you and I in the media to a lesser extent than the others, but building up a story is something for us to talk about here. As the season comes closer, maybe after even the draft passes and you get all these young guys off the board, where will he end up? Are the Giants still on the radar? Are the Packers?
There's so many
interests heighten.
There's so many teams that need a running back,
right?
Including our two teams. We lost both of our. Well, I guess you didn't have a real. Well, Rashad Jennings you released, and we just chose essentially we released Eddie Lacy.
Mm-hmm.
We did not decide to pick up his 5th-year option, and so I'm interested to see where he actually and finally ends up. And after we thought Brock Osweiler would never touch down in Cleveland, Ohio, Hugh Jackson said on NFL Network that Osweiler will come in and compete for the starting role for the Browns. Seahawks backup quarterback Trayvon Boykin was arrested early this morning, after a car that he was in, after a car that he was a passenger in, hit 7 people on the sidewalk and crashed into a bar, like where you get drinks.
Yeah, they crashed into a bar through a wall and actually injured a bartender inside too. So there was 8 injured people, not including those that were in the car. As far as I know, there was no injuries inside the car, which is lucky because there was also, I believe, I want to say it was him and he wasn't the driver, he was the passenger, but
right.
Him and the female driver were in the car also.
Boykin was arrested on related drug charges and public intoxication. No one that was hit in the incident was seriously injured. Is this kid from, by chance, is he from, do you know where he played college ball?
I do not.
If I'm not mistaken, this guy played for the, where did Andy Dalton go to school? The Horned Frogs? Texas team. Damn,
oh my God.
I'm having a serious brain fart. They did the Pac-10 MVP. I think Boykin was suspended from his bowl game last year with a Texas team. God damn it! I hate that.
Yeah, and your internet is moving.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Dude, Texas team, the Horned Frogs. Someone leave a comment. Where did Andy Dalton play college ball? Have like a brain fart.
We need somebody outside to research this for us because obviously we
my phone's up there. I can't get it.
We don't have a Tony Reale here to
And I'm not nearly as handsome or Italian, so I'm sorry. I can't do it all.
Let's see here. It did finally pull up. He went to Mesquite, West Mesquite.
Okay.
Or actually, sorry, TCU for
college. TCU. There we go.
High school is Mesquite, Texas.
Yes, TCU. I knew it was Texas something.
And was undrafted, signed with the Seahawks.
Yeah, he actually was suspended from the bowl game for an arrest charge.
Yeah,
so this kid is
just not a good history here.
This kid's just trouble.
Yeah,
the kid's just trouble, and I hope he finds his way out.
I did read that he had been drinking. Obviously, he got the public intoxication, and there was drugs in the car. Although the drugs were not found on him, so
we'll see. If
we're not sure if he's going to get charged with that yet.
And another suitor for Tony Romo has emerged. CBS is making a push to make Romo an analyst to replace now San Francisco 49ers general manager John Lynch.
Think it's going to happen?
I think right now the Texans are the only team that are going to sign Tony Romo. And it's only going to happen if they release Romo. If Romo doesn't get released and he ends up retiring after this stare down, he's going to go to CBS.
Yeah.
Yes. Or Fox, whichever one. But if Dallas does trade him or release him essentially to the Texans, then no. I think he wants to play.
I believe he wants to play also. So hey, Jake Getz got us with.
I knew he would. love you, cuz. Thank you.
We need you here. We need you texting into us all the time because we don't have it all in front of us. And we don't have quite the technology that the big names
No, my computer's like 3 feet away.
Well, yeah, you got the draft up. I have about 15 slides here, and
I keep picking my nose. I'm sorry, there's like a hanger in there. It's just, when I breathe, it's like an intake manifold. It keeps going with my nose.
Half the time, this Xfinity is you need to be on the hot spot.
We're a little bit of a mess this episode, I'd have to say.
Hey, what can you
so
do?
what are you going to do? Yeah, I don't really care.
It's run by two 25 and unders here. So.
And we're both handsome, so it's okay. We're going to go to injuries and releases. If you want to take us into those, Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 2 quick injuries and then 2 releases. Carolina Panthers quarterback Cam Newton will be undergoing shoulder surgery, but is expected to be present at training. Newton's rotator cuff is torn on his throwing shoulder. It's been injured since week 14 of this past season, and he will be ready 16 weeks after surgery. So should be good for the beginning of the season this year. And another player is going under the knife. Vikings' newest running back, Latavius Murray. Less than a week after joining the team, he had an ankle operation, and it does not seem to be too serious.